What a season it has been so far in NASCAR. 4 races in, 4 different winners, and so far the last 9 races have all been drivers under the age of 30, including we have our 200th, our new 200th career cup winner, and it is a first timer. Welcome back to the episode of MDK Racing Victory Stop. My name is Jet. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day. It was a somewhat tame race at Phoenix today, which was no surprise. Phoenix generally hasn't been an exciting racetrack, especially in recent years, but still, no one was expecting this winner. It's not waste any time to jump right into it, into everything that took place at Phoenix here today. So we start with Kyle Larson, who won the last time we were at Phoenix back in November. He had to start at the rear of the field due to steering adjustments. And we start off with Ryan Blaney. Now, Ryan Blaney had a fast car at the beginning. He led every single lap up until the competition caution on lap 6. When on pit road, he, alongside Denny Hamlin, Michael McDowell, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. were all copper speeding. They get sent to the back. Kyle Busch also, who was running in the top 5 so far up to that point, stalled leaving his pit box, so he had to start around midfield. That changes hands to Joe Logano, who took 2 tires and leads now with Chase Briscoe to his outside, and 1 lap later, Briscoe becomes the new race leader. We fast forward to our first caution of the race with Corey LaJoie. Something broke on his car, slams into the wall hard in the dog leg. He loses a wheel, and Cody Ware in the 51 runs over it to bring out, like I said, the first real caution of the race. We restart with Chase Briscoe and William Byron now up in front. Byron gets out and ahead, and no one was there to really challenge for him. He would go on to win stage 1 with Briscoe running in 2nd. 3rd was Elliott. 4th, Tyler Reddick. 5th, Alex Bowman. Christopher Bell in 6th. Kyle Larson 7th. Kevin Harvick 8th. Joe Logano 9th, and Austin Dillon rounds out the top 10. There was a moment in the middle of the race coming off of turn number 4. Austin Dillon got loose and nearly collected Kyle Busch. Kevin Harvick had to take evasive maneuvers to avoid that near crash. Somehow they weren't involved and ended up spinning and collecting multiple cars. But again, this race was pretty tame. Stage 1, really nothing happened. Stage 2 would continue that same tone of the race. It began with Ryan Blaney back out in front as he, Kyle Busch, Cole Custer, and Harrison Byrne, they pitted on lap 46 after the Corey LaJoie crash. So of course, in stage 2 begins, they begin out in front. Now, Ryan Blaney would lead all the way up until lap 119, when even on 15-lap older tires, he was still able to hold off Chase Elliott, who had 4 fresh tires. However, while Chase Elliott was running down Blaney, a caution comes out once again, same corner, off of turn number 4, Christopher Bell spins, doesn't hit anyone, but again, he does bring out the caution. Now, this time when everyone pitted, Chase Elliott will come out ahead of Ryan Blaney, and he would end up leading the race after a restart with under 60 laps to go in the stage. Chase Elliott would hold on to the lead for another 8 laps until Ryan Blaney, who did have the faster car and this time was on fresh tires, would take over. Elliott later on would try to close in and take the lead back from Blaney, but the 12 car was just way too strong. He would hold on for the win to win stage number 2. Elliott 2nd, Harvick in 3rd, 4th Byron, 5th Larson, 6th is Reddick, 7th is Ross Chastain, 8th Chase Briscoe, Austin Dillon 9th, and Joey Logano the top 10. Stage 3 early on didn't offer much excitement. Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick out in front to begin the final stage. Harvick got a bad restart and everyone just jumped on them. He was able to rebound back to 4th place, but a lap later, Elliott was out in front with Tyler Reddick running right behind him in 2nd. Then with 91 laps to go, another caution will come out in the same corner, turn 4. Martin Truex Jr., who was running in 12th place at the time, says he cut a tire and slams into the wall a ton to bring out the 6th caution. He tried to drive away, but the damage was just too severe, so he was out of the race. On a pit stop after that crash, Ross Chastain and Chase Briscoe, they all gained 4 spots on that pit stop. Ryan Blaney, on the other hand, who was running 2nd at the time, went from 2nd to 9th. He lost 7 positions after a very slow pit stop after his tire changer. It looked like from the video camera that was recording Blaney's car. It said that it looked like as the tire changer lost the nut on the gun when he was about to change, I believe, the right rear tire, and that's why he had such a slow pit stop. Now, on a restart, Chase Elliott was the race leader, but Briscoe was able to take the lead back from him, and the 14 car was back out in front. With 75 to go, Kyle Larson, who had a very quiet day, he, like I said, started at the rear, was able to work his way up towards the front, didn't lead any laps, but he just wasn't there, didn't have the car to beat. Like I said, with 75 to go, he had engine issues, was reportedly had a broken valve spring, and after they tried to ride it out for a couple laps, they finally brought it onto pit road, and he was done for the day. After that, nothing really much happened, but closer and closer to the end of the race, we saw a nice battle that was starting to heat up between the two chase drivers of Briscoe and Elliott. Briscoe was out in front, but Elliott was closing in, downshifting his car in the corners to be able to catch up with Briscoe, although when you do that, you use up more fuel. So with there being such a long green flag run, even fuel strategy was starting to even become a factor, especially with the Ford drivers that look closer to making it to the end on fuel rather than the Chevrolet drivers, including Chase Elliott. That would all be extinguished of us seeing a possible long green flag run battle for the win when 28 laps to go, Eric Jones loses it, same corner off of turn 4, spins it to the inside wall to bring out the caution. Briscoe gets off of pit road first, Harvick in second, Chastain in third, while Elliott had a pretty slow stop, comes out 6th. Kyle Busch, who was going to start 10th after that pit stop, he would have to start at the rear after he was caught speeding. Then with 20 laps to go on a restart, Ross Chastain tries to cut down underneath Briscoe, who tries to throw a block, but Chastain is able to get side by side 3 wide with both Briscoe and teammate Kevin Harvick entering turns 3 and 4, but Briscoe gets a nice launch in the middle of the corner to hold the lead, hold Chastain off at bay, and here comes Kevin Harvick now to the outside trying to challenge Chastain for second place, and then Tyler Reddick, who wasn't a factor much for the race lead, all of a sudden he's now in the mix in the A car. He gets side by side with Harvick, but Chastain then tries to make a run back at Briscoe, gets a bit of a fender ahead of Briscoe entering turn 3. They enter side by side, but Briscoe gets a good run on the outside lane. Chastain not able to clear him. Look at this run by Briscoe. They nearly make contact. Chastain gets loose a little bit off of the corner. Briscoe now has the momentum entering turn 1, and Briscoe would finally be able to clear Chastain for the lead, with Reddick now pulling up an effort to fight Chastain for second place with under 20 laps to go. This was a very fun battle. Very fun battle. It was short-lived, but it was really cool to see some new names battling for the win. The top 3 around this time had not won a single race. Briscoe, Chastain, and Reddick. The top 5 had a combined total of I believe, 63 career wins. The top 3 didn't win a single race. Harvick with 58, and I believe Ryan Blaney had like 6 or 7 wins. So the top 5 was very, very interesting. But then with 7 laps to go, our final caution came out, and it involved Chase Elliott, who was running in 7th at the time. He spins off of turn number 4, doesn't hit anything, but does bring out the caution, which sets up a 3-lap shootout for the win. Briscoe on the inside, Reddick on the outside as they come across start finish line. They all jump down to the dog leg. Briscoe gets a bit of an advantage on Reddick as they enter 3 and 4. Briscoe clears Reddick with ease as they battle 3 wide for second place with Blaney, Chastain, and Reddick. And that about sealed the fate for anyone who was going to have a shot at chasing down Chase Briscoe. Briscoe is able to hold off those pack of wolves to go on to win his first ever NASCAR Cup Series victory in just his 40th career start, and also becomes the 200th different NASCAR Cup winner in history. He led the most laps with 101 of 312. A very dominating but very, very, very cool moment for Chase Briscoe. Like I said, he scores his very first career NASCAR Cup win. Here's a look at the unofficial results. Chase Briscoe wins, Chastain in second, Tyler Reddick in third, Ryan Blaney in fourth. Kurt Busch, he was basically outside the top 15, top 20 for majority of the race. Somehow was able to rebound for a top 5 finish. Kevin Harvick, a very, very, very solid run for him in 6th. This was his best performance we have seen from Kevin in quite some time. Kyle Busch was able to rebound from that speeding penalty to come home in 7th. Logano, a quiet 8th place run. Daniel Suarez in 9th, and Chris Buescher, surprised to see him there inside the top 10. Chase Elliott in 11th, Eric Almirola, his top 10 streak comes to an end. Denny Hamlin struggled this race here today in 13th, Alex Bowman 14th, Ty Dillon 15th, Cole Custer, Justin Haley, William Byron, I don't know what happened with him near the end of that race, comes home 18th, rookie Todd Gillen 19th, and AJ Allmendinger rounds out the top 20. Austin Dillon crashed on the final lap, so he wasn't able to finish the race, comes home 21st. Bubba Wallace 22nd, Keselowski 23rd, Austin Cindric, the Daytona 500 champion. Very, 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 very bad day for him in 24th. Eric Jones 25th, Bell 26th, McDowell, Stenhouse, Burton, and Castle rounds out the top 30, and then Cody Ware, Garrett Smithley, BJ McLeod, Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., and Corey LaJoie round out the 36-car field. And now let's take a look at the playoff grid after NASCAR's West Coast swing. We now have 4 different winners, 4 races in, 4 different winners in the 2022 season. Larson, Briscoe, now colored in green, Cindric, and Alex Bowman now has 6 playoff points. Logano, the first one without a win, plus 43. Kyle Busch, plus 39. Elliott, 38. Eric Almirola, plus 29. Blaney and Reddick, the top 10. And then Kevin Harvick, plus 18. Kurt Busch and Truex Jr., plus 16. Then we get into the single digits of Chastain, plus 8. Byron, plus 5. And Dillon, now 4 points ahead of Bubba Wallace, who dropped from, I believe, 10th to 17th. Brad Keselowski, he's now out of the playoffs, minus 6. Eric Jones, minus 11. And Ty Dillon, 20th in the standings, minus 12. Now, this race, again, like I said earlier, this was the first mid-race of the next-gen car. There were some good moments, some good battles, especially on restarts. No surprise that the restarts were entertaining to watch with the new dog leg and everything, creating 5 wide, 6 wide battles entering turns 3 and 4. So that was pretty cool. We saw some good moments near the end of the race with Harvick battling and Reddick and Briscoe. That battle between Briscoe and Elliott was pretty good, and it looked like it was going to be a very fun long green flag run to see who's able to conserve their tires better and would probably even make it on fuel, since that was starting to come into question. So yeah, this race was meh. I give us maybe a 5 or 6 out of 10. It was 6.5 out of 10. It wasn't special. Stage 2 especially was nothing really happened. I mean, it was spread out the entire way through, which I just want to point that out. NASCAR, it can happen. We can have boring races. That doesn't mean we need to go back to the 550 package. Please, for the love of God, let that package rot in hell. Please. It happens. You're going to have some bad races, and that's okay. Phoenix, not surprising though, considering the history of Phoenix since the repave. It hasn't generally produced any fun racing or good racing to begin with. So yeah, I'm not surprised that the quality of racing was not that good. But man, Chase Briscoe, how about that for him? In his 40th career start, wins at Phoenix, led 101 laps, most laps led. This season though, we saw a different Chase Briscoe. And considering last year, he only had 3 top 10 finishes. His best shot at winning was at the Indy Road Course, and he dumped Denny Hamlin trying to do that. But this season was different. They had a very fast car at Fontana. Last weekend at Vegas, also had a strong run at the beginning before he had issues later on in the race. So it wasn't like this was a surprise. Briscoe has shown speed, but to see him finally be able to close out with that win was truly awesome to see. And the parity continues. Reddick, once again, I'll tell you what, Reddick, Briscoe, and Chastain, those 3 drivers are going to shock a lot of people this season. I think this is just the beginning. They're going to contend for multiple race wins. Those 3 drivers have been in the thick of things. Reddick led the most laps at Fontana. Chastain led the most laps at Vegas. They weren't able to get the job done, but we have seen it time and time again. If you run up front and if you're able to lead laps and be up front at the end, you're eventually going to find your way into victory lane. And I won't be surprised if we see Briscoe, Chastain, and Reddick contend for multiple race wins, because they have just been flat out impressive with this next-gen car. SHR, very good day. Maybe not so much for Cole Custer and Eric Almirola, but again with Briscoe and Harvick. Harvick, this was his first solid run we've seen from him in quite some time. And this is also a big moment for him, considering this is his 18th top 10 finish at Phoenix, which ties him for most top 10s at a single racetrack with him, Kim, Dale Earnhardt, and Richard Petty. Very cool statistic there. But yeah, Harvick had a very strong run, top 5 car. Very impressive to see him there. Now it'll be interesting to see if he can continue that consistency, or if this is just a sporadic type of season that's going to be for the 4 team. But SHR definitely made some games this year. Richard Childress Racing, specifically Tyler Reddick, made a lot of gains. Trackhouse has made some really good gains. I mean, not only did Chastain finish in 3rd place, but we saw Daniel Suarez start mid-pack, finish in 8th spot or 8th or 9th place. That Trackhouse Racing team also, that's an underrated team. I think that's going to shock a lot of people this season. But man, we got to talk about Toyota. Yes, Kurt Busch, he finished 5th, but like I said, he was outside the top 15 for majority of the race. Toyota, they need some work, which I didn't think I would ever be able to say, but Toyota is struggling. Outside of Vegas with Kyle Busch and Truex, they struggle so far this season. We're not counting the 500 because we're just not, but man, Phoenix today, they were nowhere near a factor, and they just made mistakes. Just made too many mistakes. Kyle Busch made a mistake getting caught on pit road. The fact that they were able to salvage a top 10 finish is surprising considering the race they had. They were nowhere near it. They were nowhere near considering they were going to have that good of a finish. But Christopher Bell, he had that incident spun, struggled. Truex, even without that tire failure, he still wasn't inside the top 10. He was just there around mid-pack. This, and both 2311 drivers. I mean, Bubba Wallace, my goodness. I think I said he finished 23rd or 24th. That whole Toyota camp needs to get their act together. Maybe when NASCAR comes back on the East Coast and we get to the races like Atlanta, Richmond, Charlotte, get to those races on the East Coast, they might be able to find their footing. But so far, Toyota has shocked a lot of people, and not in a good way. So those are some of the storylines I'm very interested coming back from the West Coast. Is the new big three of, or at least the surprising big three of Chastain, Reddick, and Briscoe. Are they going to be able to continue that momentum that they have when they started the season? The veterans of Kevin Harvick, are they going to be able to get back up top? Same thing with Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. Will Toyota be able to regain that consistency of winning speed that we have seen for numerous years? It's going to be very interesting to see. This race didn't provide a lot of content, but it did provide a lot of insight on what the future of the 2022 season may look like, and I'm very interested to see what these next few races look like for NASCAR. But yeah, like I said, overall, Phoenix race, 6 out of 10. But I am very happy for Chase Briscoe winning this race. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Atlanta. I got a video coming up tomorrow for y'all, so make sure y'all look forward for that. But that is going to conclude this episode of MDK Racing Victory Stop. Tell me what are you guys' thoughts on this race in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content. Congratulations to Chase Briscoe, your winner at Phoenix. We'll see you next time.